This is part 2 of making a fancy beaded button. In part 1 I showed you how to create this kind of an empty canvas, which is simply a fabric covered button. Now let's look briefly at what kind of beads you need for this project. The basic thing that you'll be using here are seed beads. Seed beads are tiny beads that you can get pretty much from any craft store, any bead store. They come in many different sizes. They come in many different colors and finishes. I also have some other small beads here, like these ones, which are my particular favorites. They are tiny beads that are sort of shaped like the number 8, and they have a hole in the right there in the middle. I also have some tube beads here that you can also use. Tube beads, they just look like tiny tubes, and you actually saw these tiny tubes on one of my buttons. I have a couple of mixed bags of smaller beads, and then I have what are one of my favorites as well, drop beads. These remind you of little drops because they are shaped like little drops, and they have a hole right at the top. They come in different sizes as well. As you can see, these are smaller than these ones, for example. Really lovely, lovely beads, the drop beads. And then here you can see some really big seed beads. If you compare them to, for example, these ones, you can see that there's a big difference. Okay, so obviously you need to first design your button. Think about the colors that you want to use. I started with colors here and I thought, okay, I'm gonna take some hot pink ones that I have. Let's go with hot pink. And then I wanted some green ones. I thought hot pink and green would be really nice together. And then I added onto that color palette, I added purple. I thought that purple would be good. And finally, I thought, hey, I have these nice turquoise ones as well. Maybe I'll kind of throw in a couple of those. Okay, so let me move these beads out of the way and then we'll start embroidering. These are the things that you need in order to do bead embroidery. You will need a beading needle, which is a very thin needle and a very long one compared to regular sewing needles. You can get these in craft stores and beading stores. You will need beading thread. Beading thread is special. It is different from regular sewing thread, so make sure you get some beading thread. Remember, beading thread always needs to be conditioned. Here I have some Thread Heaven, which is a conditioner and protectant. It's a wax. Just take your thread and you pull it on top of this a couple of times so it gets coated with the wax. And remember, you always need to pull your beading thread, preferably before you put your needle in it. Take your thread by the ends and pull. Beading thread is stretchy, and if you don't stretch it out before you start embroidering, it might start to stretch out in use, and you might end up, for example, with a button that has some beads hanging off of it, and you really don't want that. Anyway, here I have a ready pulled and conditioned thread. Let's take these out and let's take our blank canvas in. I'm going to start off with these beads, which are some of my favorites. But oh, actually before I go in with the bead, I need to start this off. So I start off from this side, the wrong side, because I want to hide my hideous knot there. So I go in here with my beading needle, come off near the edge, just pull, and this way I will get that horrible knot covered in there. Okay, so of course now you need to think, what kind of a pattern do I want to make here? Sorry, I'm losing my words. What kind of a pattern do I want to make here? Do I want to sew a couple of these beads here together, or do I want to make maybe like a little line here, which is what I will be doing here? I want to make a little line here, but I'm a little far off here and I need to get closer, so I'm going in very close to the point where I came out with my needle. There we go. And then I navigate my needle to approximately the place where I want to start. Let's start from there. And this, because I can do this because look, you can't practically see it at all. So that's why it's safe to do that. Okay, here I am. Now I'm at a good spot. Let's pick a little bead here, put it in our needle. There we go. And of course now I need to decide which way I want to continue. Now I would like to continue right here next to it. I want to make a little line coming this way. I don't care where the bead is. It can be there, it can be here. But I will go in pretty close to this bead and surface again pretty close to it. Let's do this. Pull, tighten. Here I am. I've got one bead in there. Now I need to take another one. Remember, you might need to come in with your needle several times. So I'm going in again, because if I would put a bead in there, I might have too short of a distance there, so it might not look very good. This is a little bit of a skill that you learn as you make this. So let's pull the thread. Like you see there, they are not in perfect line, but that doesn't matter here because I really like making very, very haphazard looking things. Again, I'm going in with my needle very close to where I came out. Let's go to that direction. Pull in again. Come in here with my bead. Let's pick another bead. That one. And I always make sure that your thread is tight so that nothing is hanging off. Let's go in from there. Pull again. There we go. They have their own way of going in here, and that's fine. If you want to be very particular how your beads will go, then start off with seed beads, because those are easier to control than bigger beads like these. But I'm happy with how they are. And this is why I like making these, because it has the element of surprise. You never know how your beads are going to lay here, how they want to lay here. So start off with another. Come up there. Let's see how that one lays itself. Lays itself like that. Fine. I'll continue for a while longer, but then I will go offline and finish this and show you how to do other types of beads. Drop beads would go the same way, by the way, as these beads go here, because they are very similar. Oh, sorry. There we go. They look like little berries there. Really love how the way they look. Love it too much. You might see here why it is good to have a little extra stuffing in there. It gives you more possibilities and more room to put your needle, to where to put your needle. Okay, let's turn the canvas a little bit. Let's go in from there. Pull. There we go. Take another bead here. I'm gonna fill that little, there's like a little, you can see there's a little, like a gap there, and I'm gonna fill it, so I go in like this. You will learn this as you work, where to go in and how to fill these gaps and so forth. So I'm pretty far away here. Okay, so maybe I'll stop here now so that you won't get bored. So I'll finish this and come up to the edge, and then I'll come back and show you how we can start filling the other spaces here with other kinds of beads. Here we go. I finished putting my beautiful berry beads here, and I came to the edge here, and my thread is coming out from there. I've attached the last bead with it, and now I want to have like a line of seed beads here, sort of like framing these. And I decided to go with these seed beads, which are a beautiful turquoise color. And I've loaded a couple here onto my thread straight here. I've just come out from the last bead, and now I loaded the next beads already. I seem to have, let's see, six beads here. These are pretty tiny. I don't suggest putting a whole lot of beads at a one time. I think this kind of amount is just maximum that you should do, because if you put too many here like this, then obviously they might start hanging out, because not every single bead here is going to be individually attached here. They are going to be attached as a string like this. So let me show you how I attach that. First of all, I make sure that they sit very snugly there. There. And then I go in approximately where I want to, where they end. So they end about here, and I put my needle in through there, and I come out from underneath there. Doesn't matter. You can do that because you can't see the string. There you go. Now I have attached them there, and now I need to get back to that spot where they end because I want to continue there. So just very close to where I came out, I need to maneuver my needle, and I just happen to come out of a perfect spot here. Come back. Like I said, this is the kind of embroidery that you will learn as you do it, because it comes easier and easier as you do it to know where to come out, where to go in, and things like that. So okay, I have loaded another batch of small seed beads onto my needle. Again, just make sure they sit tightly there, and again I go in from, let me see, I could do this quicker if I didn't have the camera, because I have the camera here, so sometimes it's a little difficult here, but I hope you can see it properly. And again, I come out from underneath, yeah, underneath the beads there, and I tighten it up. Oh, there we go. Tighten it up. Remember, you don't want to come out from a middle of an empty spot, because then I don't know, I just want to always hide my entries right underneath other beads, so it'll look neater. There we go. Again, I need to go in very close to where I came out, and find a spot here to come out. Let's see, that's pretty much perfect there. And come out from there, and take another little batch of these beauties here. And I hope that by now you understand why I said that you shouldn't put too many here at a time, because then they might start hanging. They might get loose, so I don't know how many I have here now, but I don't count. There we go. And let me see. Put them back a little bit. You need to tighten this sometimes. Yep. That seems about perfect. So let me go in from here, and again come out from there. Okay, there's a little bit of snuffle there. Let's see. There we go, yeah. Okay, here, you see, I need to redo this. I went in too close, so these can't fit here. They go up. So let me redo that. Just pull the thread from there. And now I realized I went in way too close. But it's good that this happened, so that you can see that this can happen. Let me thread the needle. I need to do this close to my eyes because I'm not 20 anymore. There we go. So it took a while. These are really tiny, these holes here, so it takes a while. Okay, let's do this again. Now I need to pay close attention here. Okay, so where do they end? They end approximately there. Okay, so I need to go in from there, come out from, let's say there. Let's see if this one would be better. Yep, now they sit snugly there. See? Okay. I think I might want to continue actually doing this from the other side too, but let's see if I'm at the right spot here. Actually, I am. I'm at a perfect spot to start doing it for the other side. So let me do that, and then I'll come back, and then we'll continue. Here is my button at this moment. So I have sort of framed it. Now frame these beads here with turquoise seed beads. And it's good for you to always think when you sort of finish one sort of beads, like I've now finished the turquoise beads here, to always think, okay, what am I gonna do next? Where am I gonna start it? And that's what I did. And I decided to go with the drop beads that are beautifully like a lime color here. And I thought about putting them here sort of like as a fringe here. Let's pick on a drop bead. You can see it better. There you can see it. It is really like a little drop. Okay. All right. Now attaching these is the same thing as attaching these. So I'm just going to go close in, come close out, and pull. There we go. Our first drop bead is attached now. Let's continue attaching these. Okay, remember, you can also go down from this side if you want to, but of course you need to always think about where your thread is coming from. But right now I'm kind of opting to do sort of like a back stitch here. Okay. These are a little trickier now to attach here, but I hold on to the drop bead that I've just attached, and because I want to come out very close. There we go. There we go. There's the second drop bead attached. Now I'm here. I need to go back. Let's go in from there. They are a little, there we go. You need to always keep tightening this because they can be a little loose. They can feel a little loose, so just always keep tightening them. There we go. Next one. But it is going to be a beautiful fringe here. Absolutely beautiful. The reason why I'm poking so much here is that I really can't see that well from behind the camera, so that's why I'm poking a lot. If it seems to you that she's poking an awful lot, that's the reason. My poking is due to my sight here. Okay. Because, you know, when I usually work these, I have these very close to my eyes so I can see. There we go. There we go. So I'm continuing doing this fringe now, and since I again don't want to force you to watch me do this for a long time, so I'll finish up this fringe of these beautiful drop beads, and then I'll come back and show you some other things that we can do. So here we are, and right now this is what my button looks like. I finished doing the fringe with the drop beads, and now I got the idea that I want to put a couple of golden tube beads here, and I've got my tube beads here, and I've come out, as I said in the previous part when I was doing these, I said that you should always come out from a spot where you want to continue, and that's why I came out from here, because I thought I would put just a couple of these tube beads in there. So picking up a tube bead here, And I'm doing the same thing here with the tube bead that I did with these seed beads. So I will kind of fit it in there snugly, see where it would naturally fall, and go in through there. So that would pretty much naturally fall into there, going in from there, coming out from there. Let's see if it fits nice and snug in there. Yep, so it did. Okay, need to go back, and I want to come out from right by it. So going in close to where I came out, and trying to come out from, yep, perfect spot. There we go. I want to add another tube bead. My tube beads are a little old, so they are a little withered. Let's put it that way. So I was trying to find a very shiny one. Okay, so let's put another tube bead in here, and again I want to measure approximately where I should go in, approximately there. Let's see what happens if it went in snugly. Yep, it sure did. Now it is there, nice and snug. Okay, so the last step, I think I've decided to put the fringes that I showed you at the beginning using these very hot pink beads. So I'll be putting the fringes here and also here on the remaining spots. So let's do that first. No, next. Sorry. So I think let's see how much thread I have. Well, I have a little bit of thread, so let's start here. In order to make the fringe, let's see, I need to exit at a point where I can start the fringe, and I want to start it at a spot where you can easily see it. Let's go back to where the tube beads are. Here we are. Soon I need to add a little thread, but before I do that, I'll just show you how to do the fringe. So pick up a couple of these seed beads. These are really cute hot pink seed beads. So a couple more. Right now I have 5. Let's see. Maybe a few less. Let's see. Now I have. Okay, let's start with 5 here. Okay. So here are my beads, and this very simple way to make a fringe is to go in, leave 1 or 2, your choice, beads here, and go in through the rest of them again, and then make sure that you actually do go in through all of them, and then again through the same spot where you came in, and again at some point come out. There we go. So there's a fringe, but that's a little bit too long, as you see. Of course, you can make fringes this long, but I think this is a little bit too long maybe for what I want here. So let me redo that. And I'll take off a couple of these beads. I think actually just 3 would be a good amount of beads here doing the fringes. It's been a while since I've done a fringe, so let's start with 3. Okay, and now I again need to thread my needle. Hope it goes well. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to start this fringe off with just 3 beads, and I'm going to go in through 2 of them, these ones. And you really need to be sure that you actually do go in through them all, because otherwise they might look funky. Okay, so now I have a smaller fringe here, and as I put other beads in here, it will actually start to come up a little bit. Let's do, and sometimes I do different sized fringes, so sometimes I might do only 1 bead or 2 beads or 3 beads. Now I have 4 beads in here. Let me think. Actually, let's do one with only 2 beads. Next, 2 beads here. There we go. And I'm going through only 1 of them here. Let's go that direction next. There we go. So now I have a couple of fringes here. So I'll do a couple more and then I'll come back. Here's my button now, and I have finished making the fringe here. I used 1 bead, 2 beads, 3 beads, and there's one of that 4 beads that I had. And I tried to intersperse them so that I have them evenly dispersed here. But anyway, it looks pretty nice. I like the fringe look. And now I'm done with the fringe, and I've come out from a spot which I still need to cover, and I think I'm going to cover it with some delica beads. Delicas are seed beads, but as you can see, they are like tiny tubes. They are very high quality seed beads, and they are usually a bit more expensive than normal seed beads. But as you can see, since they are so uniform, you can also make like even surfaces with them. So you can use them with bead looms and things like that. So you might want to try delica beads. They also come in a lot of different colors and finishes. These ones are, it's a beautiful, like a berry pink color here. So I'm going to do the same here as I did with these turquoise ones, which by the way don't really look very turquoise in this. Well, now they maybe do a little bit more. So I'm just going to start covering this with these delica beads here. So I have 4 here now, and I'm not gonna film all of this because this is gonna be a long video anyway, so I'm just gonna show you again how I do it, approximately measure where it would be, how it would lay itself naturally here, and then I go in from approximately that spot. Now I have a lot of beads here, but it doesn't matter. I can come up with as far as I do from here, as long as you don't come out from inside any other bead, so then it should be fine. There we go. So my delicas are there, and I'll continue adding those here. And lastly, I think I will add a fringe of either these ones, or where are my other ones? There. Some kind of fringe I want to add to the here on the edge, because I usually want to cover this edge. I mean, I know you can't really see it that much if you look from above, but I still like to cover that. So I think I might want to make a fringe there, but I will finish up this bead now. No, not this bead, this button, so that this is not going to be like a monster video, and then I'm going to tell you what I did with this. But I think you got the basics here. So I'm pretty close to finishing my button, and I'll soon finish making the fringe, but I just want to point out a couple of things that I did here before. I put these delica beads here, and I also added a couple here because here was an empty spot. And this is what I suggest you do. If towards the end of your project you notice empty spots, just take some beads and fill them in. So it's going to be a really nice looking little landscape there. Okay, so I put this fringe of drop beads. These are see-through drop beads here, and I just wanted to show you quickly how I'm doing it. So just coming out from a spot right next to the previous one. Let me pick one up here, and I'm going to go in right there, right next to it, and it doesn't really matter where I come out with the thread. There we go, one more attached. But now that I'm here, I just want to go back and come out again from the very right next to that previous one. So let's pick another one here. Oops, there we go. Attach it there. Sometimes you need to adjust them a little bit. So I'm at a very good place here now. I think I can only fit one more here. I need to find a pretty big one. Let's see, because these come in different sizes. I mean, some of them are clearly bigger than the others. So let's see, that one is definitely pretty big. Yeah, I'll go with that one. Then just go in for the last time there. pull that into place, and that was perfect. Perfect fit. Awesome. So let me finish this up now, and now it's finished. And I really like how it turned out. I like the coloring, and it's very, I like the fact that it has a lot of different little details that you can look at, and it's just wonderfully detailed. So these are some of my favorite things to do when I crave for something miniature to do with the needle. Then I'll do this. But if you have any ideas how one could use these, please leave a comment on this video. I would love to see your ideas for using them.